Welcome to Shelf Life, the monthly series where I look back at games I covered about half a year ago and let you know whether they're still in my collection. And to close out 2022, after a ton of top 20 lists, I'm looking back at games I covered in May of this year. So let's see which games withstood the test of time and demonstrated their shelf life. All right, we'll start in the crowdfunding corner with Anastyr from Mythic Games. This is a solo and cooperative, sort of like side-scrolling beat-em-up fantasy game in the vein of Golden Axe. And I really enjoyed this one. The gameplay is fast. The character powers are pretty cool. It does give like that side-scrolling action feel in a fun way. You can like ride animals and all this crazy stuff. But would I pledge this one myself? No, it's gigantic. It's super expensive. It has tons of miniatures. Like none of that really floats my boat. If they sent me one, I would definitely play the heck out of it because I really enjoyed it, but I don't think they're going to. Mythic's been going through a lot of stuff lately and I can't even get through to them anymore. But yeah, I think this is a good game for people who like these like huge mini games. So I hope even with the company's troubles, they are able to finish this one and get it out to backers. But Anastyr is a lot of fun, just way too large for my table. And the only other crowdfunding game I covered in May, and I talked about both this and Anastyr in my recent crowdfunding video, my top crowdfunding video. This is Illiterati. And yeah, this one is not really floating my boat. It's like very much a Scrabble game, but solo co-op where you're trying to build words to like fulfill certain objectives and like kind of categories of words to then like complete these books and finish the game. And I just don't love Scrabble and like putting together lots of words quickly that much. That's not like my favorite way to play games. I found the co-op a little bit lacking because like you just kind of didn't own words and we would just pass them back and forth and or totally ignore each other. I don't know. I just wish kind of there was more there. And also the categories felt really restrictive. But my son really liked this one, so if they'll send me a review copy, I'll definitely play it some more, mainly with my family. My wife liked it too. So I really think my negatives, as I said in my other video for this one, are more about my own lack of joy in like Scrabble type games rather than the game itself. I think a lot of other people have enjoyed this one. So that's Illiterati, my other crowdfunding one. And yeah, both of these I would not have backed, Anastyr and Illiterati, if it was up to me. And then getting into actual release games that I played. The first one is Nemo's War. And again, I already talked about this on a recent video. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot with all these top videos. But this one is pretty cool. I know it's a favorite of Colin and many others, especially for solo play. I think the co-op is kind of trash, and I personally would not play it. It's just like dividing up the roles in an uninteresting way. But this game does have very tense decisions. I think the core dice mechanic, while it is very swingy, is very exciting, kind of like this risk-reward system. I think the combat works pretty well. I think the adventure cards and the sort of emergent narrative of the storyline is really cool, and the way they sort of do like the epilogues and stuff. I just felt it even with the different motives, way too samey, especially like your need to always manage the ships in like a very pandemic style way that I found like a unthematic, and also just like not mechanically fun. So yeah, this is all the stuff I've already said in my review. I know this is a top solo game for so many people, but for me it was kind of meh, and I called it. The next game is Valiant Wars. This is a push-your-luck deck builder, competitive, and I made an unofficial solo mode for it that I think works really well, which shows that I really was enjoying the game at the time, and I had a lot of fun making the solo mode. I think it works really well, but playing the game more competitive, I realized just how like crazy swingy it is, and how much it has, even with like the victory cards you get, like as you get victory points in the game, you add these negative cards to your deck. Even with those, there was such like a runaway leader thing, and really no control over how cards came out, which is not the worst thing in the world, and I've liked other deck builders that are fairly random. But yeah, this one started to wear out its welcome, and even though I'm still proud of my solo mode and I'm glad it's out there for other people who buy the game, this is another one that I called Valiant Wars. Next is Viticulture World, which is a cooperative expansion for the original Stonemaier Viticulture game. And this one I never owned in the first place, so there was never much of a question of keeping or calling it because I borrowed Peter's original copy of the game and I just gave him the expansion when I was done. But I will say that I didn't find the world cooperative play specifically like varied enough for me. Yes, the different like nations and sort of scenarios you can play are varied, but the actual play of the game felt pretty samey, like the way you got victory points. Like I didn't feel like there was as much variety in the co-op play as there is in the competitive play. And you know me, I'm not a huge Euro game fan anyway. So yeah, I don't think I would have kept this one or sought it out if it was my copy. But since it was Peter's, I didn't have to make the choice anyway. So I guess we'll call this a call, right? The next is Batman Everybody Lies. This is in the Portal Detective game series, like mystery games, and this is fully cooperative. And first of all, the big thing is I beat this one, so no reason for me to keep it since it's, a mystery game and I saw everything the game had to offer. But also I didn't like necessarily love this one, but I don't love the Portal Detective series games in general. It was better than Dune House Secrets. It's a decent entry in the series, but yeah, I beat it and I don't love it and it's gone. That's Batman Everybody Lies, called. And the fifth regular game on the list is Pinpoint. This has like multiple game modes, but the only one I played is the fully cooperative one where you basically have a like number and you like give clues to help somebody find the number. It's based on wavelength, so it's basically the same game. And I found this just okay. The big thing is you don't need the game to play it. Like we just play it without the cards and it plays exactly the same. So there's not really much reason to own this one, so I called it. But the actual activity of like figuring out numbers and trying to give people clues to help them guess those numbers, that works totally fine. And I guess the game can like facilitate that easier with the cards that you have. But yeah, fun activity. Don't need the game, called. So that means the only game left on the list, the only one that I kept, is Sakura Arms. This is another 1v1 level 99 game, although they didn't design it. They just brought it over from Japan and did a new version of it. But I, like for Exceed and BattleCon, did a solo mode that I'm really proud of for this one. Now, I will say I almost culled this one. In fact, I think I had a buyer, and then they pulled out, and I sort of felt happy that they had, because then I sort of wanted to keep it, because I do already have Exceed and BattleCon and other really good 1v1 games coming, and like Battle Crest this year, like lots of stuff. So do I need another battler? Maybe not, but I really like my solo mode for this one, and I really like the gameplay. If I continue to not play it that much, which right now is the case, like I am playing Exceed and stuff more, if I continue to not play it that much, I probably will cull it eventually. So this is, a maybe keep for now. Not a strong month overall, I guess, for Mike. But yeah, Sakura Arms is sticking around, which means it is the contest winner guess for this month. So there you go, a harsh month for May. I wouldn't have backed either of the crowdfunding games and only kept one out of these 6 non-crowdfunding games, and even that one might not stick around. But let's get to the contest results and see which of our entrants correctly guessed Sakura Arms. The majority of you got it right, thought that I would keep Sakura Arms, 42%. 28% were behind with Nemo's War. Viticulture World got 15%, and Valiant Wars got 9%, and then you drop way down. Batman Everybody Lives got 3%, I think 4 votes total, and Pinpoint got 2 votes or 3 votes total, so not very much there. And I guess I was a bit too transparent with my answer because a bunch of people guessed correctly, more than a third of the people that entered. The names in red here are people who chose not to be entered in the contest, who still got it right: Hannah, Paul, and Phil. I'm not going to read all the other names, but the people in yellow have double entries because they are Patreon supporters. I'm going to roll a D10 to pick a row first, and then a D8. I guess re-rolling 10s and 8s, and if I get that one result in the bottom right, I'll re-roll the whole thing. So first the D10... is nope, we're going to reroll that. The D10 is a 7, and the D8 is a 6. Let's see, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Will McCrocklin, you are this month's winner. That's the first time it hasn't been a patron in a while. Congratulations, Will, and thanks to everybody who entered the contest. Don't forget you can enter January's contest right now. The link is in the video description. And Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for an amazing 2022, and we'll see you at the next stop in 2023.